Welcome to Coco's Connection, the podcast where we deep dive into inspiring stories, real conversations, and the connections that shape our lives. I'm your host, Coco, and each week we'll explore the people, ideas, and experiences that help us grow and connect in meaningful ways. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get connected. Welcome to Coco's Connection podcast. Welcome back. And this is episode 9. And today we are talking about something extra special. The title of this podcast is Generational Connections Learning from Our Elders. And we're going to talk about the wisdom and insight we can learn from the generations that came before us. Lessons that our elders passed down are often timeless. And today we're deep diving into those connections. We'll explore how their stories, experiences, and guidance can shape who we are today. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's get started. And you guys know I love to give my scriptures before we begin. And the scripture that I am reading from is Psalms 37:25. It says, I have been young and now I'm old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. And it's just a quick reminder to us that life is but a vapor, and every day we're getting older, every day we are potentially getting wiser. That's something that, we should always be striving to learn and be keep an open mind and learn new things, try new things. I'm always telling myself, you have to learn every day, learn something new, learn something. That way you can keep your mind sharp. Again, I most importantly learned the Word of God, which is definitely helpful. So we are going to start with the importance of generational wisdom. General connections are the heart of many cultures, whether it's a grandmother, she's telling the story, or an elder teaching you life lessons through their experiences. These connections can actually form foundation of your personal growth. And so, why is it important to connect with our elders? And how can we tap into that wisdom in today's fast-paced world? Um, the importance of it is the value of learning from those who have lived through different times. We see that through medicine. So back in although there are traditional medicines that are standard throughout, and just to know that they've been there for many, many years also helps as well. But just the sole reliance on just holistic medicine uh, has definitely progressed into more of the medical field has definitely progressed even when it comes to different surgeries, different tools. Um, the next thing is again just technology, how that has changed in such a fast-paced way uh, in our society, as far as not just computers but the medical technology, the scientific technology has definitely changed in a different way. And so, how generational wisdom has helped our society, cultures, and traditions, it's allowed us to connect in a way where, even in like remote countries, they're able to have technology and the internet so they can share their traditions, what they do. There's a lot of social media pages that share cultural, historical facts, and it's a way to document, I believe, and it's a good thing. It also can be a negative sense because you don't really get that full connection when you're versus being there, but it's also inspiring to let you understand the culture and where that, even in a small town. Um, so we're going to talk about the challenges of bridging generations. And as much as generational connections are important, they don't always come easily. In today's digital age gap, there's a really strong gap between the older and younger generations that can sometimes make it harder to communicate. Technology, again, fast lifestyles and different values can make it tricky. So we're going to talk about how do we bridge the gap and ensure these valuable lessons are passed on. First thing we're going to talk about is the role in technology and just making intergenerational connections harder. So there's such a digital divide. The older generation access and comfort with technology. Many older people did not grow up with the internet, smartphones, or even social media. For some, using technology can feel overwhelming and intimidating. The rapid evolution of devices and platforms can leave some elders feeling left behind or even disconnected from digital communication methods. Um, so I had just an example. I had a person at the gym that didn't really want, we had a guest policy now where it has to be digital. And they were like, I don't want to do this. And it's just, I feel so out of place because I only have, there's people that have physical cards and there's people that have the digital on their phone. And so, in all ages, it's not just the older generation. Some younger people prefer the card. It just depends. Like, so how do we find and navigate through that connection for that digital divide and sometimes just being set in your ways because you're so used to having um, things a certain way? How do you navigate through that? And I was able to help an elderly woman. She wanted to do the digital app and was like, I've tied the card. I want the physical card. I just want it on my phone. So I was able to help her download the app and get her set up. So that way, um, that gap is not there for her. And so the next thing we're going to talk about is changing communication styles. Texting versus face-to-face conversations. The younger generations often prefer texting, social media, DMs, or quick chats through apps like WhatsApp, making conversation more immediate and less formal. This style of communication can sometimes feel impersonable, or even isolating for older generations who might be more accustomed to face interaction or phone calls that allow for more richer, emotional, connected conversations. And I think that's one of the biggest things too, because I can even say like texting is like, oh, it's a quick text, but then it could be misconstrued or you could have left out a word and it sounds like you're saying something completely different. So I think a lot of times people get so bogged down by it. It depends, and in a lot of I've noticed that they want to actually they'll call and say, "Hey, I need you to help me with this," versus texting it. Um, and social media again in isolation. Social media platforms can offer a way to connect and stay connected, such as Facebook. When you're trying to reach that grandparent or whatever, and they're on Facebook, but they don't really know how to really use it. It can also create a sense of disconnection for them. So that's just helping them understand and engage is definitely a big key factor in that. So number three is just over reliance on digital communication. The lack of nonverbal cues is what we're missing, and a lot of times we're like, well, that's because of this disorder or whatever. But a lot of it really is like the lack of nonverbal cues is because we're so ingrained in the digital communication, particularly text based, that we don't have that nonverbal cues via facial expressions. Or I can send you a video of me, or we could FaceTime. You could kind of see my expression versus someone that's just texting and then the formalities of like group chats and you're trying to talk to your family and it's a completely different situation. And overlooking richer communication channels. While texting and online communication are quick, they don't allow for the depths and the nuances of in person conversation. Elders often have stories or lessons they want to share, and they are best conveyed through real time personal interactions. However, when only the communication channel is digital, those moments of storytelling can feel less authentic and engaging. Because sometimes they're like, I don't want to share it on TikTok. I don't want to share this, which, and sometimes that's good, but um, it can be a bad thing. And number four, I think, is just generational gaps in digital literacy. Technology is constantly moving at a fast pace, and even there's things that I'm like learning now with AI and learning with all of the digital things can be harder for them because again it's a learning thing and learning curve, and it can be difficult for some people even if they're young. So I mean, I can only imagine when you've been set to do things, and that's why it's good to learn from them to understand how we can really connect again. And so we have to kind of shift the social norms. I think the how we do that is expectation of constant connectivity. In today's digital world, the younger generations are often expected to be constantly connected, responding to texts, posting on social media, checking emails, etc. Um, for the older generations, it actually can make them feel overwhelming, especially if they didn't grow up with a constant influx of digital information. And then elders may not understand why someone doesn't call, and the younger person may not realize that how their reliance on digital tools has changed their approach to different relationships. And we've seen that, which has resulted in a decline of in person interaction. And a lot of times that just means that the digital communication is so focused on me, myself, and I that we forget that there are humans on the other side. And so, as I was saying before, like with the rise of Facebook and YouTube, it's definitely helped allow elders to get and engage on different platforms, um, which I know people are like, oh, I don't get on TikTok because it's more for youth and everything. So I would suggest just trying to engage with the older people and the elderly that are in your life to just ask questions, you know, and that's how you bridge the gap. You just help with them, you educate first and foremost, educate and support elders in digital literacy, offering simple tutorials or tech assistance that can empower them and feel more confident using technology. Just helping them succeed and set up devices and teaching them how to use social media can make communication easier. Balance that digital and in person communication. I try to encourage having phone calls versus text more than I do um, more than text. I try to make sure that it can help maintain the balance between two forms of communication. And your elderly friend, person, grandparent, parent um, can appreciate just a simple, heartfelt phone call more than a quick text. And finally, just be patient and adaptable. Patience is the key to bridging generational gaps. Younger people should be mindful that elders may need time to learn new tech or just adjust to a different communication style. Because we're so used to just, oh, well, we can get it really fast and then that's it. But some people, it takes longer, not even just older, just relational wise. It could take them a little bit longer to learn something. So we have to be patient and gentle and kind. And so we just have to emphasize the emotional value of the connection. And once we do that, we can grow and um, just be able to connect more with them. So this last segment, we're just going to talk about practical tips that we can do um, and connect with elders in our lives, whether it's with church or it's with a club or whatever it is. Seek out those elderly people, so that way you can learn from them. It's important to learn from our elders and learn their perspective and how they see the world and what has shaped and molded their life. So, first thing is ask open ended questions, encourage storytelling with prompts like, "What was life like when you were my age?" Share your own experiences with them. Generational connections can go both ways. It shows them that you're interested in their lives by opening up about yours. I can say that I have been able to reach different generations just by sharing my life story and sharing what's going on in my life. And they're like, "I can remember when I was your age." And they're like, "That's so awesome that you are this age." Um, and then that way they can connect with you and say, "I really see what your generation is going through right now." And that way you can connect on a deeper level. Another thing is be patient again and listen actively. Sometimes the best wisdom comes in quiet moments. Be present and let the conversation unfold naturally. You don't always have to be like, "Well, I said this," or I I believe this, and it's not necessarily. Sometimes it's just sitting there and saying, "This may work." Finally, uh, respect their differences. Recognize that their perspectives might be different from yours, and that's okay. Just embrace the learning opportunity. And finally, getting involved in their hobbies or traditions, whether it's cooking, gardening, or simply watching a favorite old movie together or a new movie together, bonding over shared activities can lead to deeper connections. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you, my listeners. Do you have a special memory or lesson that an elder has taught you? Or maybe you've struggled to connect with someone from a different generation. Share your stories with me in the comments below or at Coco's Connection Podcast at gmail.com. Uh, Definitely, let's create a community where we can all learn from each other no matter what age. Um, Share how you connected with your elders, any tips you've learned along the way, or even if you haven't had a chance to, what steps are you going to take? So that's a wrap for Coco's Connection episode 9. I hope today's episode inspired you to reach out to an elder in your life and learn from their wisdom. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Uh, Leave me your feedback, email me. It means so much to me. Until next time, take care and remember the best connections are the ones that span generations. Have a great day.
Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a wise old monk. He was known far and wide for his wisdom and sense of humor. One day, a young and eager student named Sam approached the master and said, "Master, I want to learn the secret to happiness and success. Please teach me." Master Sito looked at Sam with a twinkle in his eye and said, "Very well, young one. But first you must complete a simple task. Go to the market and buy the biggest, juiciest watermelon you can find. Then carry it on your head and walk through the village without dropping it." Sam was puzzled, but determined. He went to the market and found a massive watermelon. Balancing it on his head, he walked through the village with utmost concentration. As he passed by, people couldn't help but laugh and cheer him on. Some even joined in, clapping and making funny faces. Finally, after a bumpy journey, Sam reached Master Situ's hut. The watermelon was intact, and Sam was relieved. He looked at Master Situ, expecting to be praised for his accomplishment. But Master Situ burst into laughter. "Well done, young one," he exclaimed, wiping tears of mirth from his eyes. "You see, the secret to happiness and success is simple. Just like carrying that watermelon, life can be full of challenges and unexpected twists. But if you face them with a light heart and a sense of humor, you will find joy, even in the toughest moments." Sam couldn't help but laugh too, realizing the wisdom in Master Situ's words. From that day on, he approached life with a smile, facing challenges with the same determination he used to carry that watermelon. And whenever he felt overwhelmed, he would remember the funny watermelon lesson and find the strength to keep going. You see, in life, in your life, embrace challenges with a sense of humor, and you will find that life's journey becomes a joyful adventure filled with laughter and success. Be determined, but don't take yourself so seriously. And whenever you feel down or defeated, remember something funny that once happened to you. This is Dare to Do Motivation Stories. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.